Hey everyone, today we're going to be doing something a little bit different and fun, and we're going to be doing this kind of like, they call it a dichotomy test. It's kind of to see where your kind of preferences and beliefs are in regards to certain like philosophical and like skeptical stuff. I've seen it all over Facebook, and the wonderful Raphael recommended that I do it on Twitter last night, so I'm like, who am I to say no? Let's do it. I don't know like how legit this website is. I don't know like, this is just a bit of fun, that's what I'm trying to say. The website says that Dichotomy provides interesting tests that show you how inclined you are towards certain philosophical, psychological, or political views. Each test tries to discover your preferred beliefs and will attempt to accurately position you along numerous dichotomic axes. So basically, I have no idea how I'm going to come out of this. I've not done this before. Apparently there's like 74 questions, which is quite a lot. I don't know how much I'm going to include in the finished video. I'm just going to probably include the interesting bits and the results, and then we'll have a little bit of a chat about them. But yeah, for a little bit of fun, let's just jump into this. Okay, philosophy. You'll be asked a number of questions. These will be in the form of either a statement or scenario. For each of these questions, you should state whether you agree or disagree. Broadly speaking, I'd rather find true love than be wealthy. You already have. I would rather have been given an expensive car than save the life of a starving child. No, can't even drive. I'd rather receive money than gifts. No, I love presents. I really love presents. I love giving them too. I'd rather be in a sexual relationship without intimacy than an intimate relationship without sex. Okay, we'll go disagree. There's no inherent meaning to life. This is tough. I mean, I'm not sure if there's an inherent meaning, but I think there is meaning. I'm gonna go with disagree, just because. A world without colour is far darker than a world without order. Oh, why does this sound like one of those cringy quotes you'd see on like the wall of a gym or something? Annoyingly, we're gonna go with agree though. Society will always need strong authority. Yeah. I believe in some form of spiritual afterlife. Strongly disagree. If I had to choose, I would save myself instead of a loved one. No, of course I wouldn't. The end usually justifies the means. Not always, but often. I'd rather live a life of personal pleasure than yes, okay, no, yeah. I would be incredibly happy if I didn't have kids. It's not an essential for me. Yeah. Life is suffering and fundamentally meaningless. No, I strongly disagree. Why does this sound like something Cosmic Skeptic would say? Oh god, like just to wind us up in that nihilism debate, this is something you'd have come out with. Yeah, no, definitely not. When making a decision, the underlying reasoning is always more important than the consequences. No, probably. Extraordinary claims do require extraordinary evidence. There is more to the world than mere material. I'm gonna go neutral here, because I understand that there are things that we can't necessarily see, but I do think they have a physical kind of like grounding. Like, there's no denying we have a sense of consciousness, but I do think we can trace that consciousness back to how our neurons in our brain work. That makes sense? I'm just gonna go neutral. People are inherently selfish. Sometimes, yeah. We should strive towards a utopian society. Yeah, good to be idealistic. Sometimes we must suffer in the present so we can have a better future. I don't think anyone should have to suffer, but I think, good stuff can come out of suffering, so I'm gonna go with neutral. No actions are inherently moral or immoral. If meant in the sense that, like, murder is always wrong or always right, then I disagree. You hear her snoring. I think you have to take certain circumstances into account. That said, I'm gonna go with agree for now, but don't take this as my, like, official position. Still things I'm working through and thinking about. Reason is more important than emotion. No, I don't think it is. I think it's important, but not always more important. It's foolish to believe a claim if there's no evidence to back it up. I'm gonna go with agree, but not strongly agree, because sometimes a person doesn't necessarily have evidence, or rather they have evidence, but it's not evidence they're aware of. For example, someone can just know someone's a bad person or they're in danger, and they don't technically have, like, evidence, but they might have a gut feeling from things they picked up. Yep. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm gonna go with agree, but not quite strongly agree. But I do think most things need evidence, yeah. My mental well-being is more important to me than material possessions. Oh, definitely. Selflessness Selfishness. Selflessness is a virtue. I'll go with agree. I think it's a pretty important thing, yeah. Our society is fundamentally flawed and in need of radical reform. But what is a society? I don't know, I think from a UK perspective, I don't think it's necessarily fundamentally flawed. I think we have a pretty good basis. I think there are some things that need changing and some things that need drastically changing. I think in America there are things that need drastically changing. I think in many other countries there are fundamental flaws there. But from a purely personal, just me living in my society as the UK kind of perspective, I'm going to disagree. I prefer friendships that help me grow as a person as opposed to ones that are exciting. I'm going to go neutral here because I don't think they're necessarily like mutually exclusive. But I also think if you're just friends with someone to better yourself, then that's a bit of a douche move, really. You know, just be friends with people because you like them. Nothing wrong with a bit of excitement. There's an underlying morality in everything that we do. Oh my god. Yeah, let's say agree for now. Without music, life would be a mistake. Okay, this is definitely something that, like, I would have posted on Tumblr at 14. I do enjoy music a lot, and I think the arty and creative side of stuff is very important in life, and it does, like, give us something to enjoy and some kind of meaning and, like, a creative outlet for many people. I'm gonna go with agree. I don't necessarily think, like, a mistake is the right word, but I think life would be worse without things like music and art and stuffs. There exists an omniscient, omnipotent, and absolute being. Strongly disagree, because while I don't know for certain, I think it is most probable that there doesn't. Consciousness is immaterial. Okay, to get a philosophical definition of this, it means spiritual rather than physical. Okay, in that case, I disagree. I keep recommending this book for some reason. I say for some reason, it's a good book. There's a book called Synaptic Self by Joseph, it's like Ledoux or Ledoux, or it's French surname, I can't pronounce French. Basically, yeah, it talks about how the idea of consciousness and even our identities and everything we think and everything we do all stems back to how our brain is essentially like wired, if you want to put it that way. It all comes back to our neural structure and how neurons interact with each other and whatever. So in that case, yeah, no, I don't think consciousness is a purely spiritual thing. I think it does have a physical basis, and yes, I'm going to strongly disagree there. My own prosperity matters more to me than the happiness of those around me. I mean, it depends on the people around me, but on the whole, no, not really. I'm going to go neutral though, because yeah. People who desire constant success must change their conduct with the times. Oh, I agree, yeah. If you want to keep succeeding in life, you've got to change with the times. You've got to, you know, grow and adapt, and of course, yeah, let's strongly agree. It is virtuous to live a simple life without an abundance of physical comforts. Nah, not virtuous. You're just like, you're making yourself suffer for no reason. I don't think there's any point in that. I mean, like, of course, if you're short on money and you're struggling financially and stuff, or you just enjoy living that way, there's nothing wrong with that, but you shouldn't, like, withhold things from yourself, especially if you can afford them, just because reasons, you know? Yeah, I'm gonna disagree. We are all insignificant in the eyes of the universe. If you look at how big the universe is and how tiny we all are, technically, yeah, I guess we're insignificant. But look, this is me trying to think like philosophically and deep, and it's not really working. I feel like I'm hitting a wall here. Okay, it's like, imagine you've got a little tribe, no, not a tribe of ants. Like a nest of ants? A colony of ants. Imagine you've got a colony of ants, and you take one ant away. That colony's not really going to suffer. But then imagine you take another one, and soon the whole colony's gone. In that sense, even an insignificant individual makes up like a significant group. I'm gonna say I don't know. Oh, I'm an idiot. A society without marriage would be better than a society without divorce. No, I disagree. Because I don't really see a problem with divorce. I think if people want to get divorced, then that's fine and they should be allowed. It's like if people want to get married, they should be allowed. Who am I to say what people do and don't do with their lives? Yeah, no, I'm going to disagree. Our society defines us. Ooh, I think it influences us. I'm not sure about defines. I'm going to agree, but not strongly. Spirit and matter are two separate entities. I don't think spirit is necessarily like a thing, unless you refer to spirit in terms of, like we said earlier, like consciousness, in which case it's tied to the physical. I'm gonna disagree disagree with this, I think. I'll usually put my family, community, or my people above my own personal goals. Oh, I used to do this a lot more than I do now, but then I realised that sometimes you do have to be a little bit selfish and just do what's right for you. And in the long run, that helps out most people. That said, yeah, I'd still make personal sacrifices if it was to help like Dan or my sister or whatever. So I'm going to agree, but not strongly. Revolution is sometimes a benefit to society. Yeah, why not? People have the right to try and achieve as much pleasure as possible. Oh, definitely. Strongly agree. As long as it's not hurting anyone else and taking pleasure away from other people or inflicting pain on other people, I have no issues. Do what makes you happy. Life is despair. Oof, well this was me 4 years ago. Now I'm gonna strongly disagree. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Again, this is like one of those cheesy quotes. I do agree though. I think you can be the smartest person, but if you have no empathy for other people, if you've never really like lived in the real world, if you don't understand what real people go through, or you don't care what real people go through, then you can be as smart as you want, but it's not gonna mean... Well, it is going to mean something, but I'm not going to respect you as much. Yeah, I'm going to strongly agree with this one. Human beings possess free will. Oh my god, I don't know. I thought we did, and then Steve, Rationality Rules, put a really good case to me to say that we don't. And now I'm in this like state of like, oh, what? I'm gonna say I don't know on this one because, yeah, I've heard things from both sides, and I haven't made up my mind yet. I don't know. It is good to strive towards fame, wealth, and power. I think it's good if you want it, but that's not necessarily right for everyone. Let's neutral that. I'd rather live alone in luxury than in poverty with friends and family. I wouldn't say I live in luxury now, but this is definitely luxury compared to certain places I've lived in the past and where I grew up and stuff. But I would definitely swap all of this as long as I could stay with like Dan and my friends and family and stuff. So, and I have lived alone, and yeah, rambling. I'm gonna disagree because, yeah, I'd rather be with friends and family than live alone in luxury. Yes, I'm gonna disagree. Societal progression can be carried out slowly in small incremental steps. Yeah, pleasure is the highest good. Ooh, I don't know about the highest, but it's up there, I think. We'll agree. I don't care about morality. I disagree. It is foolish to let emotions influence your decisions. No, it's naive to think you can't let emotions influence your decisions. I strongly disagree. Nothing can be proven to be true. Oh, this is one of these things again when people are like, yeah, but nothing can really be true. We can't know everything. I kind of hate that. I think for all intents and purposes, yes, we can prove something to be true, at least beyond reasonable doubt, or at least the point where it matters. So I'm gonna disagree. A life of fame and fortune is more desirable to me than a happy and meaningful life. Hell no. Give me happy any day. Strongly disagree. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. Aw, I agree. I'm gonna strongly agree, actually. Yeah. The world of ideas is superior to the physical world. Nah, mate. Like, ideas are good and everything, but you gotta live in the real world as well. It is better to live a frugal life. I think it's better. Doesn't mean I do. No, I'm joking. I've never had a lot of money. Growing up, I didn't. I was working 2 jobs at sixth form. I didn't have a lot of money because it all just went on like savings and saving up for school stuff, and university and stuff like that. The university, again, it was a struggle. A lot of my earlier jobs, I barely paid anything for what I did. And now I actually have a little bit of money to live comfortably, and it's nice to not have to worry about money. I really enjoy that. Like, I'm not saying I'm going out there like splashing all my cash everywhere, because I don't have enough to do that. But what I'm saying is, it's nice to not have to be counting the pennies and making sure you're budgeting for every little thing and thinking, oh, well, you know, I can't have chicken in my pasta today because I need that extra £3 to go towards my phone bill. Stuff like that. It's nice to not have to do that. Or to say like, oh, well, I can't wash my clothes this weekend because I can only afford to do 1 load of washing. It's nice to not have to live like that. And when I can just be out with friends and say, you know what, I'm going to get coffee today. I'm going to buy this for us. I like that. Like, I earn money to enjoy it and spend on my friends and my family and Kyra. And that's why I earn money, you know? Not to save up and hoard it. Moral statements are statements of truth or fact more than they are statements of emotion or desire. I'm gonna disagree, I think. Scientific research is more important than art and music. I'm gonna disagree because I think they're both very, very important in the world. I'd rather live in a wealthy society with little to no morals than live in a poor society with morals and identity. Oh, definitely disagree. No. We should focus on the well-being of our community, definitely. Our ideas stem from reality, yeah? Our primary pursuit should be our own passions and pleasures. I agree. Yeah, I think again there are cases where you need to step back and put other people before yourself, and it would be naive to think that you don't, but no, I think it's good to put yourself first sometimes and make you happy. There's a distinction between good and bad that goes beyond mere human nature. Nah, mate. The primary goal of humanity is the pursuit of knowledge. Nah. Human beings possess a soul. Nah. Individuals should always act in their own self-interest. Nah, not always. Sometimes, like I say, you need to put someone else first. Like, I would give up my life for Kyra. It feels like a natural thing. That probably wouldn't be in my own self-interest. I'm not getting anything out of that, but unquestioningly, I would. Each person has a function in society. Yeah, go on then. There is a way to live that is morally ideal. Again, I'm gonna say I don't know. It is not wise to be affected by strong passions and fears. I agree that sometimes being over-emotional or too passionate about things leads to bad choices and bad decisions. I agree that it's not always ideal, but I think it's naive to say that you should or can completely ignore them. So, and sometimes you just need to follow your emotions and go with your heart, essentially, I think. I'm gonna disagree. I am. The universe obeys natural and fundamental laws. Yeah, I think so. People cannot be truly altruistic. I disagree. Lofty ideals such as justice and liberty are of great importance to me. I wouldn't say great importance, but yeah, no, I think they're important, yeah. Authority must always be ridiculed. Nah, not always. Sometimes you need to have a little respect for those who know a little bit more about what's going on than you do. Without faith in a god, we cannot be content. Ooh, I wonder what my answer for this will be. I'm going to strongly disagree. Emotion cannot be discounted when making decisions. Yes, thank you. Strongly agree. We can never perceive true reality. If we're talking about perception, then I disagree. We should help those who are struggling in our society. Yeah, I strongly agree. I always say to Dan, it's, especially when it comes to around election time, we're talking about, voting and things like that, and he's like, oh, well, the older I get, the more money I get, the more I think I might vote for Conservatives because they help my needs the best, they do this. And I'm like, but I could never do that. Even if I was in a position where, the Conservative Party were offering me personally, the best options, I think I would always end up voting Green or Labour because they're the better option for the majority of people. Growing up, I probably wouldn't have gone to sixth form if I hadn't got EMA. I probably wouldn't have gone to uni if I hadn't had the support of grants and loans that I did, and the scholarship that Warwick offered for me being from a low-income background. Stuff like that. I think about how much help me and my family had when I was growing up and how much it helped me to get out of that place. And I feel like while sometimes people... There are some people who abuse the system and abuse benefits and stuff like that, but on the whole, I think we do need to help people because there's always going to be good people who are stuck in a crappy place because of crappy circumstances, maybe because they were born there or whatever. And yeah, I think we should do what we can to help people. Is that sounds a bit stupid and basic, but do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, basically, I'm going to strongly agree with this. That's what I'm trying to say. Here we go, results. Oh, this is interesting. Sorry, I'm looking right down at the bottom. Skepticism, absolutism. I'm pretty much 50-50. That is interesting. Okay. Egoism, altruism. Oh, that's nice. I'm more altruistic. That is pretty sweet. Oh, okay. Materialism, spiritualism. I thought I would be way more on the material side, but I guess the whole
putting happiness over wealth thing probably bumped up the spiritual side there, so that kind of makes sense for me. Hedonism, asceticism. I don't actually know what this is. Don't judge me. I'm Googling it.
Severe self-discipline, avoiding all forms of indulgence, typically for religious reasons. That's not me at all. No. How did I get like 45% on that? That is... Nah, mate. Nah. Nihilism, moralism. That's interesting again. I thought my nihilism would be lower. Okay, this makes sense. Rationalism versus romanticism. Yeah, okay, I can see that. Like, I try so hard to be this, like, rational, objective person, but I know I'm not. I'm ruled by, like, my emotions and the mushy stuff, and I've always been told throughout my life that I'm too much of a dreamer, I'm too much of a romantic, and people in my first year of uni said I was too Disney. Because I had big dreams and big ideals, and I always kind of, like, wanted to see the best in people. I was always, like, looking for the best in things and trying to get the best of things. And, yeah, people thought I was, like, being a little too much of a daydreamer. They were like, oh, sometimes you've got to take what you get, and I'm like, no, if I want something, if I'm not happy, I'm gonna fight to get the best and the happiest, and yeah. Anyway, yeah, I can see that one. But damn, this is interesting. This is really interesting. Yeah. I would not have expected this for some of these at all. Oh, the idealism and pragmatism one. We haven't really spoken about that either. I can understand why that's pretty much 50-50, because like I say, I always want to, like, strive for the best and get the best, but I also know that sometimes you have to be realistic. So I understand that when I get that. I don't get why my nihilism one's so high. That really surprises me. And why my skepticism is so average. Damn. This is going to give me a lot to think about. This is really, really interesting. Okay. I'll tell you what, if you want to take this test as well, I will leave the link in the description below. Again, thank you to Raphael on Twitter who showed me this in the first place and told me to take the test. This really got me thinking. If you take the test as well, post your results in the comments below, because I'd be really interested to know, like, where you guys fall on the spectrum, like, how similar, different you are to me. Let me know what you thought of my answers, and if you, like, really disagreed with any, or you thought I was, like, off the mark with them. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now. Thank you so much for watching today. Happy Christmassy holiday December times, everyone, because it's December now, and that means nearly Christmas. It's quite exciting. I will say happy December. I like that one. Happy December. I'm gonna go away and think about this some more. Alright, see you guys again soon. Thank you so much to everyone who watched today, and to everyone who is supporting me on Patreon this month, including Gambit and Chauffeur, Deshauwn, Christian Berg, Rachel B. Royer, Jadeon Sheppard, Corthee, Jaylee Moore, Sir Michael Moore, Christian Opitz, Sage Villarreal, Greg Ladd, Spencer Young, and Loren Hart. And to everyone else who's mentioned on this end screen and down in the description below, thank you so much. And to everyone who watches my channel, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays and just a wonderful little December. And thank you all so much.